real time on Television JA's YouTube channel or OneSpot Media. We are also live on Music 99. If you have questions on today's subject, you can send them into Television Jamaica's Facebook page or at television_Jamaica. Today's lesson is on CSEC Principles of Accounts. I am Laura Kamika. Today, students, our lesson will be on the preparation and analysis of financial statement of the sole trader. We're going to begin by looking at the objectives that we will cover. For us to understand what we're actually doing, we will have to define certain terms. There are certain terms that you have to be familiar with so you can understand when we get into the preparation of income statement, which is also known as a trading and profit and loss account, and also the statement of financial position, which is also known as the balance sheet. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to begin by defining certain terms as it relates to the financial statements. We begin with income statement. What is an income statement? It is a document which is used for presenting the gross profit or loss and net profit or loss of a company. The next definition is gross profit. Gross profit is the profit before you calculate any deduction. That is the money that you make after you sell the goods that you have. And you take no expense out of it. That's your gross profit. Sometimes you have what is called a gross loss. A gross loss is where the money that you spend to purchase the goods is much more than the sale that you receive for the goods. So that's where you make a gross loss. The next thing is net profit. Net profit is the profit that you make, the money that is left after you take out all expenses. You can also have a net loss. A net loss is where your expense exceed your gross profit. You're spending more than what you're actually making. That's really a bad position to be in. The statement of financial position is a document which is used for presenting the asset, capital, and liabilities of a company. Assets, it's anything that a company owns. And asset, they are classified into two groups. You have what is called current asset and you have non-current asset. When we get into the presentation of the statement of financial position, you will understand, you will see the items that are classified under the various assets. Liabilities is anything that the business owes for. This is also classified into two groups. You have current liabilities and you have non-current liabilities. Also, you will understand the items which fall into the various categories as we get into the presentation of the financial statement. And when we talk about our capital, students, we're talking about investment that the owner made in the business. All right? So right now what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at where we're going to get into the actual preparation of financial statement. Now at this point, student, if you look closely, we have here a document which is called a trial balance. A trial balance is prepared when all the asset, capital, liability, expenses are written up in a sole proprietor's ledger. Remember, student, there are three ledgers. You have your general ledger, your purchases ledger, and your sale ledger. Now at the end of the financial period, all of these accounts are balanced off, and then they are placed in a trial balance, which tests the arithmetical accuracy of how the ledgers are written up. So we are at that point where we prepare our trial balance, which you can see with all the balances, and it is these balances now that we're going to be using to prepare our financial statement, our income statement, the statement which shows how much profit is made, and our statement of financial position, which show our financial standing as it relates to our assets and our liability. All right? So what we have here, we have our trial balance for Bert, who is a merchandiser, and there's a number of items listed here. So what we're going to do, balances were listed. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at the balances, and we're going to use these balances now to construct our financial statement. So let us just recap so you can remember the terms that relate to certain accounts. At the beginning here, we have our accounts payable. You remember that our accounts payable, we refer to these people as our creditors. They are the ones that we receive goods on credit, and at the end of the period, we pay them. We have our account receivable. These are also our debtors. We have our bank overdraft. We know that this is a short-term loan and it's a current liability. We have our capital. We have our carriage inwards. And we know that our carriage inwards relate to the purchase of inventory. And we have our carriage outwards, which is an expense, which relate to when we sell our goods and our customer, we carry it out for them, so it's an expense to us. We have our discount allowed, which we give customer, to encourage prompt payment and to encourage them, it's like an incentive for them to come and buy from us. We have our discount receive that we get from our suppliers, which is a revenue for us. We have our drawings, which the sole proprietor take out, which is for personal, that drawings refer to anything that the sole proprietor take out of the business for personal use. This is also an item which reduce the proprietor's investment in the business. We have our insurance, which is an expense. We have our inventory and which is goods that is left over from trading that it was not sold during that period. So all of these we have to account for. We have building, which would be our non-current asset. We have fixture, which is also another non-current asset. We have motor vehicle, another non-current asset. We have our petty cash, which is a current asset. We have our purchases, which is our inventory that will be, for the period that we buy to resell. We have return inwards, and we remember that return inwards is goods that our debtors purchase from us, and for whatever reason, they send it back to the business. We have return outwards, which is goods that we get from our supplier, and for whatever reason, we return it to them. And we have sales revenue, which is money that we receive from goods that we sell. And wages, which is another expense. Wages, you pay workers. All right? So these are the balances that we're going to be working with today, students, to construct our financial statement. All right, so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be actually writing up the various financial statements as we go along. So I'm going to be using these balances to write up our financial statement. And the first thing we're going to begin with, the first financial statement that we're going to prepare is our income statement, which is also referred to as our trading and profit and loss account. And remember, in this particular statement, we calculate our gross profit and our net profit. And then we're going to move on to our statement of financial position. All right? So, using this example, it's important that we write the correct heading. So the name of the proprietor here is P birds, so we write P birds. And it should be income statement for the year ended 31st December 2018. All right, so we put in, we're going to put in 3 columns. So you do 3 columns. For those of you who have problem with the, I know that some of you have problem now, you could put in lines, you know, to distinguish the column. All right, and we're going to begin first with our sales revenue. And our sales, the sales that you can see on your in your trial balance is 249,501. So we put it to the last column here. I'm trying to write so you can see clearly, okay? And then that sales figure will have to make adjustment, because remember, so we can get our true sales figure, remember that we had return inwards. All right, so you sell something and your customer return it to you, then what is going to be happening is that mean your sale is going to be less. So you'll have to take it from your sales figure. So we're going to less return inwards. And in this case, our return inwards is, can you see the figure? 3,372. It's 3,000, so we put it, we just line it up properly, 3,372. We take it away. Normally when we're taking away, we put a bracket around the figure. So we're going to be left with, we take away, so we're gonna 9 2 1 6, and we're going to have our net sales of, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to let less cost of goods sold. Remember, we're using the vertical presentation, student, because what we really actually want to do, we want to calculate our, at this point, we're calculating our gross profit. So we're going to be making adjustment to our purchases figure. We're going to be looking at our purchases and our inventory. So we're going to begin. So we're going to have here, after we have our net sales, we're going to have a heading, less cost of goods sold. Right? And then we're going to begin with our opening inventory. And our opening inventory, can you see the amount of what it is? Our opening inventory is 23,307. Oh, thank you. So we're going to put this in the middle column, because we're going to be using this column, the first column, to make adjustment to figures. All right, so it's our opening inventory, it's 23,307. So we put it here. 307, And to that, we're going to add our purchases. And our purchases figure is 148 is a 498. But before we do that, we'll have to make adjustment to purchases because we have returns outwards. And remember, return outward, it's lessening our purchase figure. So if we put the original purchase figure there without making adjustment to it, then it will not be true. All right, so we have to make the adjustment so that the purchase figure can be true. All right, so in this case, we have 140. We purchased $148,494 worth of goods. So in the first column, 148,494 worth of good. All right, and we have what is called carriage inwards. It is treated as part of the purchase price of the good. So to that, we will have to add the carriage inwards to the purchases figure. So we're going to add carriage inwards. The rule we add before we minus, and in this case it is 3,372. And so that is going to give us a total of 151,866. Now we're going to minus our returns. So we're going to less minus returns outwards. And our return outwards in this case, it's 2,720. So this figure now, this purchase figure, we make adjustment to it. It's going to give us our net purchases. When we take away our return outwards from our purchases plus carriage inward, we get our net purchases. And in this case, the net purchase figure is 149,146. And then we're going to be adding our net purchase figure to our opening inventory. And in this case, we're going to be getting this total figure. When we add these two figures, the 149,146 to the 23,307, we're going to get 172,453. All right, and this 172,453 student represent our cost of goods available for sale. All right, so this represents our cost of goods available for sale. Okay, so let's back up quickly how we arrive at this. We started out with our purchases, we make our sales, we make adjustment to our sales to get our net sales. Then we look at goods that we were trading before, so we have opening inventory coming from the period before. So we add that, we're gonna add that to our purchases, but before we do that, we have to make adjustment. We have to make adjustment to our purchase figure. In this case, we add our carriage, we less our return outwards, and then we calculate our net purchase, then we add our net purchase to our opening inventory, and we get our cost of goods available for sale. So the next thing that we're going to be doing now, we're going to be adding after we calculate our cost of goods available for sale, we're going to less closing inventory, because at the end of the period, we still have stock on hand that we did not sell. So we have to calculate that. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to less closing inventory. And in this case, our closing inventory figure is 11,708. All right, so we're going to 11,708. And after we take our closing inventory from the cost of goods that we have for sale, we are left with our cost of goods sold. Okay, and in this case, our cost of goods sold figure is 160,745. So we have our cost of goods sold. We're going to take it across now to our net sales. So, sorry, the figure is again 160,745. 167.45. We're taking it away from our net sales figure, which is 246,129. Therefore, the figure that is left is our gross profit. So we're going to put gross profit. The figure, when we take away 167,445, 160,745 is our, from our net sales, we're left with 85,384. And this represents our gross profit. And you remember what I said gross profit is? It is profit before expenses are taken out. Also, we have on hand, which is, we have an annual revenue that we receive when we purchase goods from our supplier and they give us a discount. So to our gross profit, whatever revenue we have, we're going to add it. So this is going to be increasing our gross profit. So in this case, we are going to add revenue. And the revenue is discount received. And our discount received that we get during the period is $971. $971. So we're going to add our discount received to our gross profit, and that is going to give us a total of $86,355. So the profit that we have on hand now, student, is $86,355. But this is not our true profit because there are expenses that we have to take away from what we have. So we're going to move on to, we're going to less our expense. We're going to less expenses. I hope you're seeing. The expenses that we have here, not much. We have our carriage outwards. We have carriage outwards. We're going to try to let them hold. So this would be a heading. We have carriage outwards. And the amount for carriage outward is $4,149. Sorry, student. $4,149. So we're going to put it in the middle column. We have discount allowed. Remember, I told you that was an expense because we're giving our customers discount. So that will be less money for us. All right, students, okay, Sorry about that. Yes. Discount allow work out to be 828. Sorry, 828. Then you have insurance, which work out to be 5,848. Insurance. The spaces. Insurance work out to be 5,484. And the last expense we have is wages, which work out to be 67,746. Wages, which is 67,746. The space is limited here. I'm trying my best to, for you to see. So it's 67,000 students, 746. All right. So what's going to happen here? We're going to total our expenses. We total them. The 4,149 plus the 828 plus the 5,494 and the 67,746. And then we're going to be taking it away from our gross profit. And the difference is going to give us our net profit. So in this case, the total is 78,207. So we're going to take it across here. 78,207. And the figure that follows is going to be our gross profit. Our gross profit, student, which would be below. Our gross profit, which is going to be 8,148. So that would be our gross profit. 8,000. I'm gonna put this up so you can see. 78,207. So our gross profit is going to be 8,148. Right? So at the end of trading, this is what we have after we purchased and we sold goods and pay all expenses. This is what we have on hand, our gross profit. So students, at this time we go for a break. School is not out. We'll be right back.
Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. School's Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present School's Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly School's Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. School's Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present School's Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays.
Or the nearest health center and share your travel history. The flu and coronavirus can kill. Let's protect each other. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with a cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or the nearest health center and share your travel history. The flu and coronavirus can kill. Let's protect each other. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and
COVID-19 tip. Protect yourself and others from getting sick by washing your hands after coughing or sneezing, when caring for the sick, before, during, and after you prepare food, before eating, after toilet use, when hands are visibly dirty, and after handling animals or animal waste.
Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with a cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or the nearest health center and share your travel history. The flu and coronavirus can kill. Let's protect each other. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions.
COVID-19 tip. Protect yourself and others from getting sick by washing your hands after coughing or sneezing, when caring for the sick, before, during, and after you prepare food, before eating, after toilet use, when hands are visibly dirty, and after handling animals or animal waste.
Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with a cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or the nearest health center and share your travel history. The flu and coronavirus can kill. Let's protect each other. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
From 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with
Welcome back to Schools Not Out, where we're discussing CSEC Principles of Accounts. Well, students, we're now going to continue with our statement of financial position. Before the break, remember, we went through the statement of the income statement where we calculate our gross and our net profit. So we're going to go a step further to complete the next very important financial statement, which is the statement of financial position. So remember, the information is contained in our trial balance, right? So we're going to take it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to present our statement of financial position here. So then I want to remind you that whenever you're presenting your financial statement, it's important that you maintain good presentation. So you must use your ruler to draw a line straight and maintain your position, the position of the figures appropriately. Presentation is very important. All right, so what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be looking at the financial statement for birds. So we're going to head up. So we're going to have P, birds, statement of financial position, and this one is as at 31st December 2018. All right, I'm going to try to use a ruler to draw the line across because I want to set example for you. Even if my line is crooked, ensure that yours is straight and well presented on your paper. All right, so as you see here, I'm having a little problem getting the ruler to draw the line straight. Well, maybe I should just use my free hand. What do you think? All right, I'm getting there. Okay, there we are. Oh, not too bad. All right, sorry about that. Now, students, let us put in, we're going to put in 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. And for this financial statement, we're going to be focusing on our assets, our liabilities, and our capital. So you're expected to go to the trial balance and you're going to select those items which are appropriate for your statement of financial position. Remember, before we select the items which are appropriate to calculate our gross and net profit. So it means that you have to know the various items. All right? So in this case, we're going to begin. Remember, students, we're using the vertical presentation for our document. So we're going to begin with our non-current assets. All right, we have our non-current asset, and it's important that we maintain the order of permanence. If you're not told which order to maintain, you always maintain the order of permanence. So in this case, what are our non-current assets? You look on your trial balance, you will see building, you will see fixtures, and you will see motor vehicle. And we're maintaining the order of permanence, so we're going to be putting the most permanent asset first. So in this case, it would be our building. So I put our building. And the value of our building, and we put it to the last column. So the value of our building is 169,150. The next asset is our fixtures and fittings. And the value of our fixtures and fittings, 84,650, we put it there. And the next asset, non-current asset, is our motor vehicle. and its value 84,500. All right, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be totaling our non-current assets. We're going to put total non-current asset, and the total of this is 338,300. All right, so that's the total of our non-current asset, meaning asset that are purchased to be used in the business to help to generate profit. All right, they are non-current because they're not purchased for resale. They're purchased to use in the business. The next thing that we're going to present is our current assets. All right, we can put a line under it to distinguish, it's a heading, so that you can see. And our current assets, so go to our trial balance, and we're going to be taking the appropriate balance, our current asset, from the trial balance. In our case, we have accounts receivable. And you know that another term that they use for accounts receivable is debtors. And you know who debtors are? People who are owing the business for goods or service that they receive on credit. So we present our debtors, and we're going to put these in the middle column. So in this case, our accounts receivable, our debtor is 3,369. So we put it in the middle column. Then we have our inventory. Remember, at the end of the period when we sold we purchased and we sold goods, what is left is referred to as our closing inventory. We have to account for it in our statement of financial position. All right, so in this case, our inventory, which is also referred to as closing stock, it's 11,708. Put it in line. Your presentation will be accurate because you will have the lines to do your thing, but I'm using the whiteboard, so it's a bit out. And another current asset that I have here is our petty cash in hand. And this amount is $45. And that is our total current asset. This is all the current asset that we have for this period. So we put our total current asset. And our total current asset is $15,122. All right? So we have current asset at value of $15,122, and we have non-current asset, which is our permanent asset. Before we used to call them fixed asset, but we rename it non-current asset, which is at $338,300. So what we're going to be doing now, student, we're going to be looking now at our current asset against our current liability and see the position that we're in, because we're going to be using this to determine whether or not we are solvent. We're able to pay our debt as they fall due. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to less current liabilities. So what are our current liabilities? We have here accounts payable. We're going to put them in this column because we have to total them to take them away to get our working capital. We have accounts payable. All right, and you remember who accounts payable are? They are people that we owe for supplying goods to us on credit. And the amount is $11,721. So we put it in the first column. Try to line it up properly. $11,721. 721. And we have bank overdraft as a current liability. All right. Do you remember what a bank overdraft is, student? Bank overdraft, can anyone remind me? It is where you take more money out of your account than you actually have, which is a pre-arrangement that you definitely have to make with the bank. And what is the thing about a bank overdraft? Remember that you have to pay a high rate of interest, all right? So it's not good to have a bank overdraft. So in this case, it's 4,605. All right, so we're going to total our current liability, and we just take it across here. And what happened? Our current liability is 16,326. Wow. So let us look at what we have here, student. P-Birds. His current liability is more than his current asset. What is that saying? It is simply saying here that as the bird expenses fall due, guess what? He's not able to pay them because his current asset is less than his current liability. Despite the fact that he has fixed asset which value so much, he's not able to pay his expenses on a daily basis because his current asset cannot cover. So it's not a good position to be in. All right. So in this case, we're going to have what is called a negative working capital. So the difference between our current asset and our current liability is our working capital. All right. So we're going to have working capital. Our working capital, which is 1,204. Sorry, 1,204. All right, it's a negative because our current asset is less than our current liability. So therefore, when we take away our working capital, normally under what should I say? Good circumstances, our working capital would be added to our current non-current asset, all right, which would increase our asset. But in this case, because our working capital is negative, meaning our current liability is more. It's more. We have to take it away, all right. So students. At this point, we will have to, we're going to just continue quickly to finish up. All right, so we're going to take away our, and so in this case, we're going to be left with net asset of $337,096. All right, so this figure would represent our net asset. All right, so we balance off here. So we're going to be looking at our investment and see what happened here. So we're going to put our capital figure. You look on the in your trial balance, it's $361,395. So I put it here, and to that we're going to add our net profit. You remember what our net profit is? The profit that we make from buying and selling, and it's where our expense is less than our revenue, our gross revenue, right? So it's 8,000. The net profit that we made was 8,148. So we're going to add that, and that is going to give us a figure of 369,543. Then we're going to less drawings. Remember what drawings is? what the brother take out for his personal use. In this case, he took out $32,447. He took that out. So what he's actually doing is reducing his investment. So let us see if everything adds up. So I'm going to take away this from our capital plus net profit. We are left with $337,096. So student, right there, you can see that our statement of financial position, our balance sheet, balance. All right, our asset match against our investment and the activity for the period. All right, so students, we have come to the end of the presentation of financial statement, main financial statement, which is the income statement and the statement of financial position in the vertical form. All right, I hope this lesson helps, and I wish you all the best in your preparation for your exam. All right, so that's all today for CSEC Principles of Accounts, and I hope you grasp some of the points we have discussed. You can catch a repeat of today's lesson on JNN today at 5 p.m. and in Schools Not Out highlights on Saturday between 1 and 4 p.m. here on TVJ. It also will be on video on demand on One Spot Media. Until next time, I am Laura Kamika. Pleasant viewing, stay safe, and remember to wash your hands and no hugs or kisses.
TVJ present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, along with TVJ, present Schools Not Out, CSEC and CAPE lessons live Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, with weekly Schools Not Out tutorial sessions on Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Schools Not Out, live CSEC and CAPE lessons here on TVJ. The Ministry of Education